All right. Welcome to the latest edition of Ragic Office Hour, and let's get started on your questions. All right, first question. Is there a way to allow users to use link and load from another multiple version sheet when they cannot access the main link sheet? Yeah, I think you could do that. And okay, let's see the question detail. So I have linked from a sheet, but that sheet now is not everyone access. And there is another multiple version sheet for everyone to access. Is there a way to allow other users link from everyone access sheet if they cannot link from the original link sheet due to access right? I do not want to reconfigure my link and load since I already have data on it. Yeah, I think you could do that pretty easily. I think, but let's test this out. Um, do we have some link and load here? Let's find a demo sheet that has link and load. Probably sales order. Okay, let's suppose we're picking a product for the sales order, and we can create another sheet for product. And then let's see if we can change the sheet that we're linking to the new product sheet. Product sheet copy. Okay, here's the product sheet copy. And when we go to the design mode, yeah, I think we could just simply change to the product sheet copy like this. And we can even change the field that you would like to link, but usually we don't change this since you already have it's already linked and people are already familiar with the current link field. So yeah, we can just simply change this and the system is gonna change other stuff, related things for you, and it should work pretty much work with the new product sheet without you doing much other things. All right. Okay. Oops. All right. So basically, yes, you can change the sheet that you're linking to in the design mode. Please check out the webinar video for detailed demo. All right. Yeah, sometimes people miss that you're able to change the sheet at the left-hand side at the sidebar. So that's sometimes quite convenient if you want to change the sheet that you're linking to or the link field that it links to. Okay, how do time values work in Ragic? So if users are from different time zones, how would time value in Ragic in the fields and the entry information area? Okay. For the time values, okay, there are quite a few different things about time values in Ragic. So outside of the Ragic sheets, like maybe if you write in comments here, and all the dates they are displayed based on your time zone. So this is it's gonna display according to my time zone, like the user. I'm the user accessing this sheet and looking at this comment. It's gonna display the time that for me. But if a different user from a different time zone goes to the same record and same comment and look at this timestamp, it's gonna be represented in their time zone. So for the same record, for the same data, it's gonna display differently according to the user's time zone. Okay, so everything outside of the Ragic sheet that you designed works this way. But for the database that you designed, it's a little bit different. So if because there are a few more configurations for for the sheet that you designed, by default, is when you enter a time into a time date time field, it's gonna display the raw value that you enter. So if you enter like 2023 May 10th, and it's gonna display the same thing for every user. This is the default behavior because that's kind of what we expect for databases. So, you put in 2023, it's going to display 2023 for everyone. Okay, so, but in many cases, people would like to have the system display the time in different time zones according to the time zone that their user is in. So we have another option to display the time as the using the using the browser time zone. So if this is turned on and it's going to display the time differently. The same time is going to show up differently on different users' browsers. So it's going to display, like the comments that I mentioned, the timestamp will be displayed differently. Even though the value stored in the database is the same, it's going to display differently for different users if they're in different time zones. Okay, and also there are a few other ways that we could do this to avoid um, the time zone issue. Is that we could display the time as time ago, like 2 minutes ago, 3 days ago, or we could display it as a countdown, like in 3 days, in 3 months. And these are ways to avoid the time zone problem because when you say like 3 days ago, it doesn't matter which time zone you're in. It's always going to be uh, a certain timestamp is always going to be 3 days ago or in 3 days. Okay, so that's kind of the overview of how Ragic handles the time zones and dates and these kind of issues. So yeah, let me summarize it. Summarize it here. Whole date and time outside of Ragic sheets are displayed according to users' time zone. Okay, except logs, because logs are basically text files. For Ragic sheets, by default, the raw time entered are saved and displayed without without any time zone interpretations. Any time zone process. You provide an option to display the time according to user time zone, and also options to display time as time ago or a countdown. All right, these are the ways that you could process time zones, different time zones. If you especially if you have users in different time zones or in different countries all around the world. All right, and next question. Whoops. Okay, while on listing view, why did sorry. While on listing view, why doesn't the field change where the formula is? Okay, the amount field does not update when the unit, cost, or quantity is changed. Okay, how can I make it update in this view? Seems that I would have to go to form page view and re-enter the unit, cost, or the quantity to trigger the formula. Okay, yeah, that's a good question. Because the formula is when you're on the web browser, the formula is basically triggered on the on your browser. So if the field that and and okay, let me start over. because the formula on the listing page and the form page, they are configured different. They are configured separately. So if you want the listing view to have a formula to calculate, the amount according to unit cost and quantity, and you will have to write a different formula on the listing page and to have the quantity times unit cost. So in order for that to happen, you also have to add the unit cost and quantity to the listing page. You can add it as a hidden field. It will still work, but you will have to add the unit cost and quantity field to the listing page and write a formula on the amount field to process these as formulas, so that the same formula would will work on the listing page, because basically they're gonna be different formulas because they're referencing cells in different locations. Okay, we do have some um, we do have some plans in the future to so that the formulas in the form page will be triggered when you're updating data value on the listing page. So this currently is not, it's not perfect, but with proper configuration, adding the fields that is referencing from the form page to the listing page and writing the listing page formula, it will work. Just it just takes a little bit of more work when you're designing the sheets. But in the future, we would like to have something more convenient, that maybe we could have these automated, to add these fields to a listing page for you, and maybe write the formula for you. But that's perhaps something in the future. All right. Currently, you will need to add the fields that the formula references in the form page to the listing page, and write and configure the formula separately in the listing page. In the future, we hope to automate this process. All right, and thank you for your question. And yeah, and and the feedback on this. Yeah, we do think that if this is automated, it would be easier for users to develop these kind of formulas. All right, and that's it for the questions for today. And thank you for joining in on the Ragic webinar, the May 9th office hour. So if you have any other questions, feel free to use the office hour question sheet and ask us. We will be answering your new questions in 2 weeks. All right, talk to you guys soon.